Hello, everybody. I'm the Red Sun, and I have come for this specific reason to tell you about something that I am going to start doing. Now, what I first wrote down it. Fuck the script. Alright. God damn it. I recently had a conversation with a friend, but you know what this fucking thing is about. I put it in the title. You know, I had a conversation with my friend a little bit ago about shows that one of us disliked, the other one liked. We grew up with different ones. He grew up with one thing, and it seemed pretty reasonable. He didn't grow up with Power Rangers because he was more focused into, he knew about being a weeb before I did, because I grew up in a place where being a weeb wasn't a thing. And then I hit the age of 15, and now I watch anime whenever the fuck I want. Now, that being said, he was talking about one of the anime that he liked more of the past season that he thought was good. Now, this season may not have been this one, it may have been the last one, I don't know. These sort of things age differently. Now, that being said, he talked about how awesome The Promised Neverland was. And how it was, it was an amazing series. It was a really good one. I would definitely say it's up there when it comes to how just amazing it was. And you know what I said to him? I said, no, it fucking wasn't. This show makes me so fucking mad. Not mad as in oh, there's a payoff that I didn't really want, and then it led into another story. I don't give a fuck about that. Back then, when I told him about the whole story, I told him that I didn't give a fuck about it, and I dropped the whole goddamn story because I hated it so much. And then he asked me, did you finish it? And I said, no. I got 10 episodes in. I could not for the fucking life of me watch the rest of it. I know there was only 2 more episodes. I didn't give a fuck about any of those episodes. I didn't care about them. Also, I just noticed I'm wearing a mask, and I don't have to give a shit about quarantine. That being said, let's get back to what I was saying. I didn't give a fuck about this show. I didn't want to finish it. I didn't want to see the ending of it because I knew the ending was going to be a cock tease for something that was going to happen later on in the show, or the fucking manga that probably moves faster than this goddamn thing. Do you know what a slow burn is in a show? Okay, this is where I'm going from the rant to the actual points of why I didn't like it. Let me go back. He asked me why I didn't finish it. And then I said, I don't fucking care about this show. There was so much that didn't pay off after each episode, and his words verbatim was, are you fucking stupid? And to which I finally have a reply, because I finished it 3 minutes before I started recording this. Ha, fuck you. I made the video after finishing the series. And you want to know what I gotta say? I don't give a fuck about this show in the slightest. Even the ending doesn't feel like a fucking ending. The entire thing is setting up for another season or one more episode where all the kids get hypothermia and die because they don't know how to survive the wilderness. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about spoilers. You want to know why? Because I don't give a fuck about this show, and fuck this show in general. Well, everybody hyped it up like it was going to be it's like Saw, but Saw has to get everything in place to where each person is thinking about, let's go ahead and show these intricate plans about how everything is going to be. It's going to be like Sherlock Holmes, where he plans 12 steps ahead of them, and then somebody else is going to plan 13 steps in the different direction, so that when those 2 directions coincide like hands on a clock, they'll make it to where, no, fuck that. It doesn't do any of that. The villain was so epic, and it had this creepiness to them, where they seemed like just a watching figure with her lanky fucking neck that's always taken up by a huge collar. I'm no one to talk, because I know I look fucking weird. That being said, it looks fucking weird on her, and it's stupid, and I don't like it. That's a nitpick of nitpicks, but I'm still calling it out. Fucking stupid thing for her. Now, moving on to the next thing. And here is where my actual problem lies. Like I alluded to before. Do you know what a slow burn fucking show is? Do you know? If you can think of a good slow burn show, put it in the goddamn comments. I don't care. There, I don't. Nobody ever puts anything in the comments except for bots and like one guy who's actually nice. But that being said, if you can think of one, try to participate. I don't care. And thanks to the few people that like these videos. Now, just god damn it, this whole thing is supposed to be this slow, methodical build-up until everything coincides. It's like a tree. That's what slow building is. It's a slow build-up until eventually it can sprout out at the top and then big branches, big flowers, fruit comes out. It actually bears something that it's worth. Do you know what a good slow build is? A good slow build with some decent... I'll admit there are some branches out there that get a little bit more flowers and fruit before the whole thing finishes, is Berserk. I'm not saying it like I'm gonna compare every anime I talk about to Berserk, but there's a reason I have all the fucking manga right there and why it's so gripping and fun to read. Because it knows how to do story pacing and it actually works the same way. I'm talking about the 1990 something whatever the fuck anime, not the new one that's hopefully cancelled and burned. And now that I've gotten to that, there was a slow, methodical build-up as they introduce characters. They make the characters worth hearing about. The characters in this show are exposition dumping motherfuckers who don't know how to be real. They don't stop talking about shit that's going to happen, and then they try to execute their 15-step program until they get this next point. It takes 3 episodes to do something that could have been done in 5 minutes. Do you know what happens at the end of the first fucking season? I pray that it gets a second season that's actually manageable with time. Even then I probably won't fucking watch it because I don't care about it. It takes an entire season for one character to die, a house to get burned down, and an escape. If you watch Gurren Lagann, they escape from their down-under prison where they're being used like farm animals. And I'm pretty sure it takes like 1 episode. Yeah, 1 episode. Let me check my clock and see if I can time it. Okay, after 3, 2, 1 fucking episode. Moves past what this entire season does not do. And you know what's in between those? You know what those episodes are cut into? It's cut into somebody being put on a fucking elastic rope and being thrown and then pulled back. Thrown, pulled back. Heck, the entire thing is just, oh, well, I figured I could start planning this. I'll start enacting that plan. Oh shit, I got to step 2 and then it failed and I have to start back over here. Alright. Because they planned around my plan, that means I'm gonna have to plan around their plan. And then they plan around their plan, and they get fucking yanked back to fucking square one. And then some other person shows up and is like, well, I've been planning this since 6 months ago. Okay, first of all, you're 12. You're 12. I'm 20 and I don't think of anything that happens in that. I'm 19. I don't know why I said 20. I'm 19 years old and I didn't think of any of the shit that happens in there. A 12-year-old does not think of this shit. Oh, but he's an exponentially smarter than a normal 12-year-old. Oh, yeah, I was in high school with people who were exponentially smart at the age of 12. You know what they were doing? Smoking pot and doing drugs and eventually overdosing because they're fucking losers. And then, every time there's 1 episode goes by, here's our plan. Episode 2, here's us how we're going to enact this plan. Episode 3, we're enacting the plan, but then, plot twist, the plan doesn't fucking work. And then they get yanked back to part 1, where they have to come up with another plan, but then somebody else is like, don't worry, I've already come up with that plan. When did you start thinking about it? 6 months ago. Oh, did you realize that there was a threat 6 months ago? No. Well, why did you create the plan? You don't need to know that. And then they just go along with it. We've been planning this for 6 months. We've been planning this for 3 years. My entire life has been built up to this. Shut the fuck up. There's a suspension of disbelief. This is supposed to be at least mildly grounded in reality. We're going to start training the kids so at least their stamina and endurance and strength is built up enough to do this. We'll show them science tricks so they'll be able to, like, shoot things attached to ropes so they can attach it across a wall. And then they'll be able to, like, crawl over that and it'll be completely safe and they'll understand it. And, alright, that makes a little bit of sense. What were they trying to stay away from? Oh, well, here's where the fantasy part comes in. There's monsters who are harvesting these kids so that they can then eat the kids. Alright, that sounds understandable. It's like a, I don't know, I don't know I don't know what to compare it to. It's like Animal Farm? I don't know. Just not like the George Orwell thing, the actual thing of an animal farm. Alright. So, what do these kids do? Oh, well, first off, they barely understand how to play tag. But then, they find out that one of the kids gets murdered. Ooh, in a big open area where it's clearly visible if one child decides to sneak out. It doesn't take them any thought process beyond that. Is there, like, locked doors that keep the kids in while they're sleeping so that they don't see the kid over there getting murdered? No. Well, why not? That seems like a big flaw in the plan. Yeah. But then we wouldn't have a story if it worked like that. Well, you're right. I guess I gotta go over here if I could show this kid someone getting murdered so that they can have 40 different plans, of which 39 don't work, and the 40th one also takes so much suspension of disbelief that you don't get it. This kid, there's a part in the show where they're like, alright, we need to escape from this area. How do we escape from this area? Well, what if we just keep going that way? We'll eventually make it out. And they go there and it was like, oh, it's a big fucking wall. Well, we gotta think about that. How do we climb over the wall? You're a fucking genius. Everything that I'm saying takes the place of 4 episodes. This isn't like, run this way, you see a wall. Oh, what do we do now? Climb over the wall and survey what's on the other side. This takes 4 fucking episodes to have that thought process of apparently some kid who can plan out everything in months. It takes you months to plan around an entire escape plan that you could get Navy SEALs to not understand. But it takes you 4 fucking episodes to know that vertical movement allows you to go over walls. I got a friend named Jose who climbs walls easily. You know how much he does it? About every other day. It's not that fucking hard. Alright. And if you think that's racist, fuck you. I know Jose. He does exactly that, and he brings that up all the time, and it's goddamn hilarious. You'd think it'd get old, but it hasn't gotten old yet. It's fucking funny. So what happens is they're like, oh, let's go over this wall. And they get over the wall and it's like, shit, there's a big fucking ravine. Or like a cavern, just a trench. Large trench, very far down, much scary. What do we do? Ooh. And then the kid's like, oh, I guess we give up. Deus Ex Albino over here then gets shipped out, murdered on the spot. You clearly have a visible sightline of it, but oh, nope, kids are asleep. Can't see that, except for the one kid who did see it. Yeah. And then he's like, and then the girl's like, well, I guess in the escape attempt, the main caretaker broke my leg and killed him. So I guess that's it. Let's get no more escape attempt, sleep attempt. And then she goes to sleep. She waits for her leg to heal, and I've had broken bones before. In the time it takes you to heal that broken bone, whatever the fuck you were planning could not have fucking happened. By the time they're like, oh, my leg's all healed up, and then she's just walking around on crutches trying to make herself look crippled. I don't care. There. And then the black-haired fucking kid, the second main character, the Sasuke of the group. That's what I'm gonna call him because I don't give a shit about his name. I think it's Ray. What type of dumbass name is Ray? Your name is Raymond. Be named Raymond. Be an adult. Fuck you. He gets sent out. There's a siren outside my house, and I can't be pissed and hear stuff at the same time. So then he's like, alright, I have an idea on how we can all escape. You guys shoot ropes over there by like tying it to a rock, throw it, and then yeet. And then it'll get hooked around a wall, hooked around a tree, then you can zip line to the other side. And it's going to be super easy, and it'll happen all in one night. Right. And the girl's like, yeah, but how are we going to, like, make sure that the caretaker, doesn't, like, see us do it? The black-haired kid's like, I'm gonna fucking... He goes up and then pulls a Rocket Man where he says, for my next trick, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And then lights himself in kerosene like he's a protester at whatever the fuck. I don't care. And then it shows like, oh, lights the match and then drops it, and then the main girl jumps towards us like, no, and then you see it like the whole thing lights on fire, and then she's crying, and then the mom's like, what the fuck is going on? And then all the kids start to like run away and escape, and she's like, female main character, where did you, oh, you're not here, let me follow you out. Well, here's a tracking device thing that lets me see where everybody is. And then she's like, oh, well, she should be right here. Oh, there's a bucket. What's underneath the bucket? Oh, it's a fucking ear. It's an ear with a tracking device in it. They're trying to insinuate that a 12-year-old girl cut off her ear. This girl has had no relation to pain her entire life. She has bumps and bruises from playing outside every once in a while. I guarantee she's never broken a fucking bone in her life. But oh, out of nowhere, plot strength pops in and is just like, okay. No noise, just moved past it. It's like, I'm gonna cut off my ear. And then she's sprinting at full speed, trying to get to the other side of trying to get to the wall. Oh. And then you realize, oh, the black-haired kid's alive. Alright, well, how the fuck did he survive? Oh, well, when she jumped after him, surprise, surprise, she caught the match. And then turns out, Deus Ex Albino fucker shows that he had a plan this entire time that revolved around him getting murdered. And then the female main character, I don't remember her goddamn name. Her hair was orange. That's all I know. Oh, I'm gonna call her Orihime. That's it now. Now, she catches the match and is like, no, there's been a plan. Deus Ex Albino over there gave me that plan before he died. Alright. And then not only does the plan know that the black-haired kid is going to kill himself, but also everything that he's ever thought ever, and then goes down the entire line and is just like, he knew everything ever. So we're going to put a whole bunch of clothes on the ground and a bunch of meat and hair and hope that the burning smell of this stuff convinces the caretaker that somebody actually set themselves on fire. Alright. And they're like, oh yeah, that'll probably work. Have you ever smelt a burning corpse? They put ham and sausage links on a burning body. I've smelt a burning barbecue before. It smells amazing. I've also smelt what happens when you decide to take a fire and then throw a deer corpse on top of it. Guess what it smells like? Not the fucking same. Did I just blow your mind? Because I blew my mind. My mind has been blown like it just walked into Chinatown, gave $3 to the random street hooker, and then blown. And then all the kids finally make it out there and they're like, well, what are we going to do about the 5-year-olds? And like everybody beneath that age range, they won't be able to survive out here. We'll just leave them the fuck behind, apparently. But we're gonna make sure one kid knows what's going on back there so he can have the mental scars. Alright, don't worry, they only get harvested once they get to like 6, and that's when the demon monsters harvest the kids and then eat the fuck out of them and then move on. But what if we don't come back in like a year? Then those kids all die. It's pretty simple. Simple. No. Bridge time. Fuck them kids. Bridge good. Fuck them kids. We on the same wavelength, everybody? We on the up and up? Now, after that, they all just start ziplining. Kids who have never been more than 8 feet off the ground their entire life, from climbing fucking trees, suddenly have no fear when it comes to ziplining. And then a kid starts going nuts and like bawling her fucking eyes out because she doesn't want to go over them. And for the first time in the entire time I've watched this show, dopamine came into my brain because I knew this kid was having a logical fucking reaction to anything. And then it ended because the kid just like got tied up with the black-haired main character, ziplined across. It's just like, it's all over. It's not that bad. Yeah, you're just gonna have to be in the fucking wilderness your entire life until eventually you get eaten by a bear. Here, congratulations. You have escaped minor inconveniencing and then a quick death to a giant fight for your life as you eventually die of starvation. I would have stayed in the fucking plantation. It's not like they were making you do anything bad. Worst case scenario. Oh, you live a normal life like an orphan, and then you suddenly get sent up there. And then you get stabbed in the heart with a flower-looking thing, and you die instantly. Congratulations. You live the life every millennial wants to live. Now, after that, they all start ziplining down there, and they all make it. And then the caretaker is just sitting there as fucking Orihime, the whatever-haired chick. I think the main character she was a dipshit this entire time who couldn't come up with a plan to save her goddamn life. And suddenly she gets handed a manuscript by Deus Ex Albino and then picks up the entire thing. Is like, I understand every word that's ever been said in this entire thing ever and will pull it off flawlessly. Even though I've had 8 other plans and all of them have hit the wall. Let's do it. Anyway, she pulls off the entire plan flawlessly. They start ziplining down, and then Orihime is just sitting there with a coat hanger, because coat hangers can support the weight of a full-grown child. That's an oxymoron I didn't intend. And then the caretaker is just like, you did it. You won. Bitch, the last time something happened to her, you broke her leg to make sure that she wouldn't escape. And now that she's, like, mildly escaping, now that, like, she's a little bit further down the plan than normal, you're just like, you've won. You started, like, every other time you started a plan, you got to, like, 5% all the way done, and then I caught you. But now you're at, like, 8%, and I can't fucking go past that. It's just impossible. It's game over, man. Game over. She ziplines down there, and then we get, a big old backstory for the main bad guy of the whole thing, the caretaker, who's been working with the demons because shit had to be complicated like that. Then they find out, like, when she was a kid, she listened to, like, one of her friends playing music that's a simple-ass fucking song. It's just going up a chord, and every time you go up a chord, you play the previous chord twice with, like, a little bit of flair thrown in every once in a while. Wow, that's not that fucking impressive. If I gave that to my brother, who's a pothead fucking asshole, he could have it done in 5 minutes. You're like, is that an original? Well, she says that, like, is that an original? No, they heard it on the radio. Have you not heard of Van Halen? Yeah, they come on in this weird fantasy-ass bullshit that happens in this series. But no, it's a cover. You know, Buddy Holly came on, and then the Beatles, and I thought, hey, Van Halen, that's what's gonna start playing. Fuck you, caretaker, and everything that you stand for. All of your long black hair, fuck you, and your shoes. And then the whole series just moves on with the backstory of her. Like, she found out about the monsters. But then she was offered a job as one of those. And then they found out, like, she got pregnant at some point. Well, what happened to the kid? The kid turned out to be the Sasuke-looking motherfucker that almost lit himself on fire. And then the song that she heard when she was a kid, she'd hum to herself all the time. But then the black-haired Sasuke-looking motherfucker started humming the same song, even though she never told him the song. So it was like, that's the kid. That's the kid. I'm not getting the subtlety that's going on. Fuck you and whatever subtlety you think you were doing. And then he asked him, why did you give birth to me? Because a normal fucking 12-year-old would have existential crises that would work that way with that verbiage. And then she looks at him and says, I did it to survive. Cool, I care about you. You're the cared about character. Congratulations. You want a cookie? Want a sticker? Want a big old fucking sticker? Sticker says, I'm not a piece of shit. Quotation marks on not a piece of shit. Single word is outside. I'm is not in the quotation marks. Just want to let you know. It's a big old sticker you can put right on your face so I don't have to look at it. Yeah, congratulations. That was all sarcasm. I don't give a fuck about her or any of the other characters. There was one character that I mildly liked, and it was this one other caretaker they brought in to help out. This, like, smug black lady that showed up, and she was really good at her job, and I really liked everything that she did, because it was over the top and fucking stupid. But then she got killed, and I don't care about the show anytime ever past that. And the more I look back on it, the more I realize, like, she was a mid-tier character in a shit-tier show. So I should probably stop thinking about her. Then the show just ends. Just fucking ends. They go through the woods and they're like, it's our first sunrise, as they look out on a sunrise, like, is that it? Is that it? Is that the hill you're dying on? Is that how it's gonna work? Is that everything? The show goes from pacing that takes months to develop a plot to suddenly having every known Ocean's 11 movie crammed into one singular flashback that was barely touched upon. I don't give a fuck about any of the characters. I don't give a fuck about Deus Ex Albino. I don't give a fuck about Sasuke. I don't give a fuck about Orihime replacement. I don't care about the caretaker. The only thing that was mildly interesting in this show was the Black Lady and the demon designs. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. This show pissed me off the way other things did not. There's a category that I have when it comes to like all the anime I've watched. There's a small category over to the side that says, I don't like the fact that I watch this. It's that simple. I don't like the fact that I watch this. I wish I hadn't. It didn't add anything to my life. And do you know how many anime are in there? One. This show. I dislike this show so much that I'm going to make I'm going to add a special spot so that it can be put there, and that way I can verbally abuse it until eventually it dies. I won't remember it, and it will be mocked for why I hate it so much. You can like the show all you want. The only thing you'll need to know is that I will not like that opinion of yours. Like the show all you want. I'm a random fucking guy on the internet who probably has, at the height of everything, less than 100 subscribers. I don't care. I'm a random guy. Find somebody else who has a better opinion that you like so you can go to him. I finished the show. I didn't like the show. Fuck this show. I hope the show doesn't get a second season to piss off people who did want it to get a second season. Fuck this show. I have to work in the morning. Have a nice day. I am the Red Sun. Wash your hands. Make sure everything's going okay in your life. Have a nice day. And fuck this show. Have a nice day. I'm the Red Sun. I don't remember how I did these outros. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye.